Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Glastrier. Glastrier honestly is amazing. Personally I think it is so much better than Spectra, especially if you chuck it in a Trick Room. Obviously that is personal belief there, personal thought, so if you think differently feel free to say so below, but that's just my personal opinion. So today I've got 3 sets for you. This one has huge attack stat, beats 145, really good defenses and HP in 100 HP, 130 defense, and 110 special defense. Absolutely huge. The only thing letting it down is its speed, but the fact it has such a low speed means that putting it into a Trick Room is absolutely possible. It is really a good thing. You could combine it, I think, quite nicely with like Glastrier Slowking and set up a Trick Room with it, and that would work really nicely for you. So today we've got Glastrier, we've got a Life Orb on here, so Life Orb increasing up our attack power ever so slightly. It does take 10% of our health every turn though, so do be cautious of that. And then our ability wise, we've got Chilling Neigh. This is going to be our only ability, but if this Pokemon KOs another one, its attack is increased by 1 stage. Now obviously at base 145 attack already, being able to get a +1 in that. So if we Swords Dance, we go to over 800. We go to like 854 or something like that. And then if you get another +1 in that, that is another 1.5, so that is another 200 on top of that. So that's over 1,000 attack power at that point. And if that's inside a Trick Room, that is just going to do so much destruction. So Swords Dance here, even if not in a Trick Room, you can live and bulk a few hits, especially maybe if you have like a Wish user in the back or something, or if you're in doubles, having a Heal Pulse, that could work really good for you as well. Move-wise, I've gone for Icicle Crash. Now, Icicle Crash is a powerful Ice-type attack. It has a 30% chance to flinch, obviously only if the target is slower than you. Obviously, if you're in a Trick Room, that can work very good as well. You could always go for something like Avalanche if you wanted to. Obviously, if you take the hit there, the power is going to double from 60 to 120, so it's going to be really powerful in that sense. Then I've gone for Crunch, which is a powerful Dark-type move. Obviously, this hits a variety of different Pokemon. And finally, Close Combat. Close Combat can deal with Steel types and Rock types, both of which can be an absolute pain for you, because obviously Ice is weak to Rock, Steel, Fire, and probably some other stuff as well I'm not recalling. But EV-wise, I've gone for max HP, max attack with an Adamant Nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. So this thing going to be really bulky, it's going to be able to take a few hits, it's going to be able to destroy. If you think about in terms of defenses, base 100 HP, base 130 defense, base 110 special defense, I think that is basically on par with Umbreon, and we know that Umbreon is such a massive staller. Obviously it doesn't get the recovery, so that does become a little bit of a problem, but you can just see from the extent of its defenses that it can actually survive so many attacks. Moving on to the second set, I've gone for Heavy Duty Boots, obviously because of things like Stealth Rocks, and then if Spikes are set up and Toxic Spikes, you're going to have a really bad time. So Heavy Duty Boots can be a really good item for Glastrier, allowing for it to be able to live as many hits as possible, or like, you know, it won't lose like 37% of its health because of the hazards that are on the field. Move-wise, this one I've gone for Body Press Iron Defense combination, so we can increase up our defense. We can do that 2 or 3 times, and we can get an absolutely huge defense stat. Now, if you wanted to, you can run this a few different ways in the EVs, but I'll talk about that in a second. And then Body Press obviously goes off of the defense stat as opposed to the attack stat. So if we've got Iron Defense setting up our defense stat as much as possible, that Body Press is going to do more damage, and you are going to be a physical wall that nothing is going to be able to get through. I think of a Fro Chop because honestly, I'm seeing a lot more of the Hyper Voice throat spray sets happening, and Fro Chop can just put that away for a couple of turns and delay that Pokemon from doing it, especially with your huge stats. You can actually start taking out the Pokemon after you've potentially got the Fro Chop off. And then finally Avalanche, because I said you're going to be slower, Avalanche can work really nicely for you here. I will say that all of the physical sets on this one, if you have a Trick Room user, you can just go for like a Brave Nature and minus down your speed as much as possible. That can just take you down as low as it is, as low as it can be. So that is something that can happen. So on here, a couple of ways to run this. You've got max HP, max attack with the Adamant Nature, which you could run quite happily. You could also run max HP, max defense if you wanted to, if you want that defensive wall, or you could run max HP, max special defense if you're running something like toxic spikes as well. So you get 2 layers of toxic spikes. This thing will just become a massive wall and will not take anywhere near as much damage as you would expect, especially if you're setting up the iron defenses there as well. So those are 3 different options there that you can go for if you would like. It is something that obviously can be varied based on what your team is like, so these aren't like gospel. These are just ideas to help you get started. And finally, we have a Dynamax set. Now, Glastrier Dynamaxes really nicely. I'm going to be honest, it Dynamaxes really well. It's got leftovers on here as the item, but you could put an assortment of things on here. You could put Choice Band, any sort of berries, Assault Vest to raise up that special defense a little bit. You could put in like Eject Button, not Eject Button, Red Card you could put in. Not Eject Button, you don't want Eject Button on the set. But you could put in a lot of different things on here and it would still work. So on here we have got Close Combat, which will turn to Max Knuckle, increasing up your attack stat. High Horsepower, which will turn into Max Quake, increasing up your special defense stat. And Heavy Slam, turning into Max Steel Spike, increasing up your defense stats. So you've got 3 of your stats there being raised up. Now, obviously, with out having a flying type move, you cannot raise up your speed. And with base 30 speed, I honestly wouldn't really recommend it anyways. And then finally, I've put Icicle Crash on here, just in case you want to set up the hail, for example, get that chip damage, break a few sashes, for example. That could work really nicely for you, as well as having a 100% accurate Ice-type move, because Icicle Crash is a 90% chance to hit. EV's gone for max HP, max attack with an adamant nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. So overall, I think Glastrier is actually such a cool Pokemon. The only thing laying it down is its speed, but it has the defenses to back it up and allow for it to do a lot of damage. It has a good move set, a good move pool, and it can be used in a couple of different ways, which I really like. Anyways, that is all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.